Tonight I'm going to be talking about the book Harper Lee To Kill a Mockingbird. This is a copy that I bought in a charity shop for 70p. Yeah, I kind of knew nothing about this book other than that people said it was good and that it was kind of like a shit stirrer when it was first written. Not a shit stirrer, sorry, it caused controversy. So I kind of read it completely not knowing anything about the author, anything about anything. In fact, the only thing I knew about the author, Harper Lee, or Nellie Lee, was that she released this one book and then that was it for her whole life. Well, as far as I understand, she did this one book and then that was it. So I was very jealous of that. Basically it's just about a young girl called Scout. I can't remember her real name. That's just her nickname. It's about her growing up. And her dad's a lawyer and she's got a brother called Jim, I think. It's been a while since I read this book. It's been about 3 months, I think. But I always wanted to do a review, but I never actually got around to it. So basically, I'm just going to start off. This book's amazing. Why is it amazing? The voice. The voice of this book's amazing. So it's all in first person with Scout, and it talks about her childhood. And I just can't get over how well it's written, and the view is in the mindset of a child, and I think that's so crucial to the plot. And it plays on it, or Nellie, or fucking Harper Lee plays on it so well. So sometimes the protagonist isn't comprehending what's actually going on, but you as the reader can kind of look over her shoulder and you actually understand the weight of the situation or the mood. Yeah, I'm still recording. And it's just a fantastic child dealing with issues that are way beyond her years. And oh God, it's funny. That's another thing. The issues it deals with are so serious, but it's funny. The way, because I recently au paired in Germany and I had, a lot of exposure to children, obviously, which is the first time for me. So I was, me and this 5-year-old were like a joint at the hip. And my God, it's just that the mindset of a child is just amazing because they question everything without worrying. They don't have fear. They don't, worry. They just, they just ask questions, and sometimes that's all you have to do. And yeah, it's just amazing. And it's funny. So yeah. And it's sad, it really draws a lot of emotion out of you, but it's just a good read. It's a very easy read. The only part of this book that isn't enjoyable, amazingly enjoyable, is the first chapter. It really is. You have to knuckle down and read the first chapter just to get it out of the way, because it kind of sets the scene. It's kind of a lot of information to take in, like who am I, who's guiding me through this story, where am I going, what's going on. But once you get the background set and the foundations of the story set, oh my God, it's so easy to read. It's so funny at times, like when it needs to be, and it's so compelling and it really tugs at some heartstrings. It's just, yeah. And it says in the back, and I remember reading this review, and it says, and this was before I actually read the book, and it says, someone rare has written this very fine novel, a writer with the liveliest sense of life and the warmest, most authentic humour, a touching book, and so funny, so likeable. And that, honestly, if I was going to squish everything I ever thought about this book into one paragraph or one sentence, whatever the hell that is, that would be it. It's just that the liveliest sense of life and the warmest, most authentic humour, because it is like that. And I remember one of the favourite parts of the book is when there's this guy, don't ask me to quote names, because it's been like 3 months since I read this book, and he can't afford things. His family's poor, so they pay things back in favours. And, and there's a new school teacher and she's not familiar with this, so she tries to lend a boy money, but he won't take it or something. And then Scout just bursts out and says something, because that's much her way. She just kind of very, just blurts out and says things. And I just remember, it's like, what she says doesn't really portray what she means or something. It's like, and honestly, it's so funny. At the time, I just couldn't stop chuckling. So yeah, I know I haven't actually said much about the actual storyline of this book, but I don't think you really need to know it, because all you need to know is once you get, I don't know, about 50 pages in or something, and you get the foundation of the book going. It's amazing. It's funny. It's easy to read, and yeah, at the end it does start to talk about issues, and it does make you question a bit about not humanity but man's sense, and because when this was written, it's hard to believe that people actually, it's deep, but it tricks you because you don't think it is. I think that's why the story was so groundbreaking, because it talks about such heavy issues, but it portrays them in the kindest ways. You really enjoy this book, and one minute you're laughing, and the next minute you're gasping, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, and I'm not going to rate it out of 10 because I haven't read enough books to know much about books. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a good, yeah. So I think I think this book's good for anybody who's not into reading, who just wants to read something maybe once, because you'll enjoy it. I can't see anybody not enjoying this book, because Scout is one of my favourite people ever. I think she's hilarious. I actually think she's hilarious. So yeah, read this book.